Project Ruckus is about to enter the cleaning phase for both the crankshaft halves right here. These are your bearing races. There's one here and there's one right here. And these are the top of the bearing races, and there's your hole for your piston. Now if I were doing this in a hurry and I couldn't clean it, I probably wouldn't do it. The reason I want to clean everything up is first of all, I want to explore what the motor's like in the Ruckus, and also I want to look to see if there's any damage. Now I have it's an old cat box right here, and I have a brush and another toothbrush. That's a painter's brush. I've also got my simple blue or simple green degreaser. This is non-toxic, and you just spray it on, and it actually just breaks down the grease molecules somehow. Then I also have a bunch of these I stole from my wife. They're Q-tips. These are real good to get down in to really tight places like holes and things. Holes or bolt holes or things like that in your engines can have a lot of crap in them. It's just not good. Any kind of dirt or oil or grime or any of this black bullshit down here, you don't want anywhere near a new engine, because what that is it's grit and it's friction, and it wrecks the motor. I also have to take this crankshaft right here. It's a really cool little crank compared to my big deal cranks. I believe it's 44 millimeter. That's what mine is. On this crank, you have to buy the whole crank assembly. You can see that the bearing right here is on the right hand side is pressed on. What I mean by that is you cannot buy a bearing set with this. You can buy the crankshaft with one bearing. It's built in basically into the crank when the crank is done. You can buy the one bearing, or you can buy the whole set. So, and usually if you're going to do bearings, you want to do a complete set. You want to go with a new bearing for the your piston arm. I forget what that's called, and of course a new bearing up in here, a wrist pin bearing and clips and things like that. But that's why I'm going to clean everything out to make it look really nice. Now, one gentleman has commented, and I didn't even think about this for a minute. He said, well, I plan on tearing my Ruckus apart, and I want to see how you do it. And he said, I was wondering, are you planning on just taking videos of the motor apart, or are you going to go further? And I wrote him back and I said, this is going to be a complete job. This cylinder head will be completely torn down, rebuilt, fixed, whatever, refurbished. So will the drive unit. So will the crankcase, crankshaft. I'll get into the electrical after that, and there may even be some painting. But this is going to be a complete teardown and a complete put the motor back in, turn the key, get it running, and give it back to the owner. That's what this is going to be. And I've got all winter to do it. My other, my big deal is running really good, except for a small electrical problem. That's no big deal. And so this is really going to give me something to do in the winter, now that I have a free day. I have my nice little shop and my nice little heater right there. I've got some good tunes, 1980s, you know, like Judas Priest and stuff like that. But I can't play any tunes on YouTube because my old videos had tunes. That was before Google even owned YouTube. They didn't care. Now they really care if you play. You can play The Saints Go Marching In, 1767 piano song, and they'll pull your video because it's copyrighted somewhere. Anyway, that is what the Project Ruckus is going to be. So I hope you like this series, and I will clean up the parts, and then we're going to go over what I see as far as the failings. I will tell you as a doctor what this crank is telling me. The crankshaft, everything else, along with the piston bore and any other problems that come about. So anyone out there that is going to rebuild their Ruckus, I hope you come along and watch. There'll be just a whole shitload of 3-minute videos. And we carry on with Project Ruckus.